Hey there, it's Alex from Adventure Rock. I'm going to be teaching you guys some functional movements for rock climbers again today. And we're going to start off with things that we need today. You're going to need either a band or a wooded dowel or a broomstick for going overhead. You're going to need something heavy to pick up. And then you're going to need something that is like a yoga block or maybe a 5 pound weight, or a water bottle that you can push together with your hands. The last thing you're going to need is a chair or some sort of stair or stool to step up on. And what we're going to start with is we're going to start in the back. We're going to do a little bit of dead bug, flip over into a crawling position. The next exercise is quite challenging. Do some hip mobility, and then some shoulder mobility, and we'll move on to some even more challenging exercises, hopefully. All right, so let's everyone get onto our backs. And this exercise is designed to engage our core and teach us how to really engage our core in really strong position. A lot of times in climbing, as our feet cut off the wall or as we're trying to do a hard move, our back arches. And it's actually better to have our core engaged and our pelvis to turn the other way. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off almost in a crawling position on our backs. And as you take a deep breath in, I want you to focus on breathing and sending that breath into the floor with your low back. Really pressing that low back against the wall or against the floor, sorry. And some people might feel pretty significant abdominal engagement in this position. That's okay. If this is challenging for you, sit here and breathe for a while. If this is pretty easy, let's start reaching. So we're first going to reach with our right hand and then our left foot, and only reach so far as you can keep your low back flush and strong to the floor. And then bring them back. Take your left hand and your right foot, reach down. And if you can control one, but not both at the same time, start with just one. Either your foot or your hand, and then alternate. So we're going to alternate on each side. Let's go 10 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. And as you march in the air like this, 7. Try and make sure that the arm and leg that are not reaching stay as still as you can keep them. 9 and 10. That could work. Next, we're going to flip over. We're going to get into a bear crawl position. So bear crawl position, there's low bear and high bear. We're doing low bear. The only difference is how high your hips are. And so you're going to put your hands underneath your shoulders and to put your knees underneath your hips. And you're going to tighten up that abdomen so that you have a nice flat back. We don't want a rounded back in either direction. And then I want your toes curled up underneath like this so that you're pressing into the floor like you're about to go for a sprint. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to pop those knees up off the floor. A lot of us, this is a challenging position. It's okay. If this is challenging, take some deep breaths in this position. Notice, nice flat back. We do not want any arches. So if this is pretty easy, go ahead and lift one hand off the ground, and the other hand, lift your right foot off the ground, your left foot off the ground. And we're going to keep alternating hands and feet. And if this is getting pretty easy, it's still not challenging enough, you can make this a little bit harder by lifting up your left leg and left leg and right hand at the same time. Alternating, keeping on moving, consistent movement, and deep breaths. Keep that butt down, don't let it rise up off the floor too high. Make sure you have a nice flat back. Keep marching nice and slow. The whole point of this exercise is to maintain stability and balance and have a rest. Next, we're going to get to a stand. Put your feet a little bit wider than shoulder width apart. Wherever your feet land is okay. Your toes should be mostly forward. And we're going to squat down. This is a prying squat. And so we're going to pry around a little bit. So we squat down. We're going to put as close as we can to the floor. However, we can get this low, it's okay. Couple things to make sure of is we are going to rock around in our prying squat a little bit. But you want to make sure that as you roll over your feet, our knees are not caving in. So we're using our glutes to pull those knees apart. At the same time, we can use our elbows and push, basically make our hands flush together and put in a, like a prying position to pry those knees apart and rock back and forth. This is great for your shoulder mobility, your hip mobility, getting those feet up high while doing rock climbing moves. So here for a little bit longer, rocking back and forth. Make sure that those glutes are engaged. Grab the earth with your feet, take a deep breath in. And as you breathe out, stand up. Shake it out a little bit. Feels real good. All right. Next, you can get either a band or a long towel works too, or a wood dowel or a broomstick. Anything that's long. So now what we're going to do, I'm going to do this from a kneeling position. You can do it from a standing position, sitting position, your choice. What we're going to do, we're going to take this band. It's going to go from in front of us to behind us, down to our butt. And the whole time, I want you to, so we're going to keep it a little wide. And I want you to keep your arms as straight as possible while pushing your fists as far away from your shoulder as possible. So we will have no bend in that elbow. So push it out real far. Keeping that core engaged, that head up high. Bring the band overhead. We're going to come behind you. Now, if you feel a stretch here, that's okay. We don't want it to be too intense. It should be moderate. And you let the band or your arms come down as much as you can without feeling an intense stretch. It should be pretty moderate. A couple of habits in this exercise as we come back to the front. People have is they let their head droop too far forward, or they let their rib cage come on up. So make sure that rib cage stays down and you tuck that head back to make sure that you're in a nice tall posture. Almost like you've got a string pulling you up from the back of the head. All right, so we're going to do seven of these. So rip that band apart, band overhead or bar, and put it behind you. Back to the front. 1, 2, 3. Do continuous movement. The benefit of using a band or a bar is going to change a little bit, but they're both great exercises, great warm-ups. The objective will be to open up those shoulders, so eventually you can get narrow and narrow around the bar, but there's no reason to force it. 2 more. All right, cool. We're going to do all 4 of those exercises one more time. So we're going to get onto our backs. We're going to lay down. Remember, keep that abdomen strong. If you're not sure if you're engaging your abdomen, give yourself a little karate chop. If you don't feel the resistance of a flexed muscle, then you're probably not engaging enough. You'll feel the difference if you let that low back come off the ground, and then give yourself a little karate chop. And then if you tuck it into the floor and you feel a karate chop, there's a big difference. So, into a crawling position on your back. And so if this was pretty easy for you last time, you can reach as far as you want to without that low back coming off the floor. If that low back comes off the floor or you can't keep it pinned hard, you're probably reaching too far. And some of us, we can only move a few inches, and that's okay. So I'm going to do 10 on each side. Ready? Go. 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5. Keep that low back flush. 6, 6, 7, 7, 8, 8, 9, 9, 10, 10. All right, good work. Back to our low bear. We're gonna do our lifts. Now, if you could only lift those opposites up for a brief moment, but then it's really hard to keep your balance, go ahead and do that. That's totally fine. If you can't lift them up at all without falling over, just stick with lifting one limb at a time. All right, so we're gonna get into our bear position, knees under our hips, hands under our shoulders, head nice and straight. And before we lift up, I want you to pay attention to your head and neck a little bit. If you relax your neck, your head's going to droop towards the floor. If you tense it too much, you're going to be looking forward. I want you to be looking straight at the floor, basically right at your thumbs, but lifting your head high so that you're still looking straight at the floor, but the back of your head is being pulled towards the ceiling. So you have as straight of a spine as possible. Then drive those hands into the floor, drive those toes into the floor, and get a nice hard core. Our knees are off the ground now. And we're going to lift the right hand and left foot. I'm going to lift the left hand and right foot. And switch again. Switch. And if you can't, we're going to keep switching constantly. If you can't hold it, then just give it a quick little burst. If you can hold it, try and hold it for a full breath on each side as you go. Keep moving. Nice, smooth movement. The longer you hold it, the harder it is. And rest. All right. We're going to get into our prying squat. So we're into a stand. And put your feet a little bit wider than you did last time. And again, as you squat down, we want to make sure that our chest is not falling forward and that our knees are not caving in. So tighten up those glutes, keep the head up nice and high, squat down, sit that butt back like you're going into a chair. Sit down as low as you can. And again, if you cannot keep your or get down this low, that's okay. Some people can only get down to about here and move around. That's great too. You can still kind of get those elbows between your knees. You get down as low as you can. And eventually you drop those hips as low to the floor as you can. This took work to get here, and there's people who are quite mobile in this position who don't even find a stretch here and are strong enough that this isn't even a warm-up. It's not me. This is a great exercise for most people. And stand up. Get your band or bar. We're going to do our dislocates, which is basically just our shoulder circles. And we're going to do 10 of them. Let's do 10. 1, Keep the head up nice and high. Don't let that rib cage break. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, guys, we're going to get into our second round of exercises. I'm going to start with a clamshell. We're going to do the last two sessions. We focused on the technique of a Turkish get-up. This session, we're going to be putting it together. You can use a weight if you want to, or you can use your shoe still. I'm going to use a weight. We're going to be doing those really smooth. So make sure that if you use a weight, that you're using a weight that you can definitely hold over your head for a minute already. Unless you're already proficient with a Turkish get-up, you can choose your weight. This is up to you. All right, then we're going to be doing a single leg deadlift, much like our drinking bird exercise. And then we're going to be doing an arc press. So you will also need, in addition to something that's a little bit heavy for your Turkish get-up and your single leg deadlift, you're also going to need either your water bottle or a yoga block for our arc press. So when we get onto our sides, and your elbow is going to be directly underneath you. And this is going to be kind of a progressed version of our clamshell. Elbows to our sides on the floor, underneath your shoulder. Our knees are going to be bent at about 45 degrees off of straight, so bring them up about halfway to 90. And what you're going to do is, the base of this exercise is just to lift this upper knee, to activate the glute in the back of the hip, activating back pocket. What we're going to try and do today is do the same thing, but with the other leg. So we're going to drive that, if we're on our right elbow, we're going to drive the right knee into the floor as hard as you can to raise your hips up off the floor. And then you let your hips come forward so you're in a bit of a side blunt. Then you let those hips come straight backwards and set back down onto the floor. We're going to do 10 of those. So that was 1. Drive the knee to the floor, hips come forward, hips come back and down. Drive the knee to the floor, hips come high and forward, hips come back and down. This whole time, we want to also maintain really good integrity of the shoulders. So really drive that elbow into the floor as hard as you can. 4, 5, 6, 7. Shake that bottom foot to make sure you're not pushing through it. 8, 9, 10. I'm going to switch sides. So we're on our left elbow, left knee, and we're going to go up 1. Really drive into that front knee. Drive to the elbow, drive to the knee, hips come forward. Sit those hips back and down. Hips come forward, back and down. Hips come forward, back and down. And if this is feeling kind of easy, you can raise this other leg up to start. It doesn't help quite as much. Do 3 more. 1, 2. Okay. Next, we're going to go to our Turkish get-up. So you can choose either your shoe to balance on your fist or your weight. And remember, eyes are always up on whatever is in your hand. So we're going to do 3 on each side to start, and we're going to do this pretty smooth, but try and put all of the steps together. Actually, sorry, our second set will be 3 on each side. The first set will be really smooth and slow, and only 1. So if you're carrying a kettlebell or a weight, always treat it like it's very heavy. Like always treat it like it's 1,000 pounds. Because any amount of weight falling down onto your head or pulling your arm way out to the side can be pretty catastrophic. So in our Turkish get-up, our shoe or our weight is in our right hands. Wrist is nice and flat. This is over our shoulder. Our right leg is bent at about a 90 degree. Our left arm and left leg are on the floor at a 45, thumb up. Next, I'm going to do a crunch up, nice and smooth and slow. Slow it as smooth as I can, pressing that weight straight high into the sky. Now I'm on my elbow. Now I'm going to get to my hand. I'm going to push onto my left hand, straight down to the floor. I'm going to prop it up underneath me so I'm pressing the floor away. So the weight has an opportunity to come over that hand. Next, I'm going to keep that knee high, toe pointed up high. I'm going to drive my hips up towards the sky. I'm going to sweep my straight leg, my left leg, behind me to make a box. I'm going to sit onto my left foot, come to a kneel, rotate to a square lunge, and stand up. I'm going to step my left foot back, nice and slow. Rotate that back foot to make a square. Run my left hand down, and I should be up right now. Run my left hand down my leg, and then reach straight up from your leg. Make a nice steady base. Kick that left leg out. Set the hips down. Engage the abdomen real hard to get to your elbow, and even harder to get onto your back. Okay, that was one on your right side. Now we're going to do our left side right away. So get ready. Pick up your weight or your shoe. Weight is in the left hand. Left leg's bent. Right arm and leg are up to the side at about 45, and press that weight towards the sky. Push it towards the sky to get up onto your right elbow. Drive on that elbow, then push on that hand to get up higher onto your hand, and drive those hips up towards the sky. Push through that left leg and right hand. Pick up your right foot, sweep it behind to make a square. And again, you should be staring up at that weight, eyes up. Sit onto your right foot, come to a kneel, rotate those legs to square, and look straight forward as you stand up to tall. Step your right foot back, lunge down, gently set that knee on the floor. Rotate that back foot, run your right hand down your leg, reach straight out. Nice, stable tripod. Eyes are up on that weight. Do not let it pull you. And you're going to kick that right foot. Set your hips down. Tense that abs hard to get onto your elbow. Tense them even harder to get onto your back. And that's one on each side. Work. Next we're going to do single leg deadlift. You take that same weight. It's really important in a single leg deadlift position. Also keep that back nice and straight. All of our movement in a single leg deadlift should come from our hips. None of it should come from our back. If we are arching in that low back or rounding over, we can put ourselves at risk for injury. So this is a really great exercise as long as you're in good posture. So keep that abdomen hard and engaged. So what you're going to do is you're going to sweep that left leg back. We're not even going to pick up the weight the first couple times on each leg. Sweep that left leg back. We're going to make sure that there's a straight line from your left heel to your head. So you're going to push that heel back towards the wall behind you as you lean forward. Nice straight line through my whole body. Now, for those of us who are tall, a straight supporting leg will never get us to the floor without our shoulders coming too low. So we do need to have a little bit of bend, a little bit of softness in that stabilizing leg. The stabilizing leg can bend as much as you need to get down to the floor without either too much stretch or the shoulders coming too low. So drive that left foot back, lean forward, bend that right knee. Go ahead and lift up. You can use either hand or both hands. I like to use the opposite hand. Make a fist in the other hand and stand up tall, nice and square, like you're doing a plank. You're going to reach back with the left foot. I'm going to set the weight back down just like we picked it up. So sweep that left foot back, hinge forward on that hip. Knee can bend a little bit and come back up. If you're unsure if your shoulders are square, reach down with both hands. And if one hand is lower than the other, push the other shoulder down to square them up. You want a nice straight, even spine. So next, we're going to do this on our left leg. So right leg is going to sweep back. Left knee is soft. We reach down with both hands until our right hand reaches our weight. Press that right foot back. Remember, press it real hard back. And come on up. Engage to those glutes. Sweep that right foot back. Set the weight down. Come back up. Work. All right, we're going to do this a few more times on each side. Sweep that left foot back. Stand up. Sweep the left foot back. Stand up. Next, we're going to do the right leg, we're on the left leg. Sweeping the right leg back. Pick up and stand. Sweep that leg back. And come on up. Other leg. Good. Sit it down. Under the left leg. Really driving back with that back foot the whole time. And this is the last time on the right leg. Stand. If you start to lose your balance a little bit, that's okay. Just slow it down. Last time on the left leg. And come on up. Work, guys. All right. Next, we're going to do an arc press. Like I said, you can use a yoga block for this. You can use a light, like 5-pound dumbbell. If you're pretty strong, you can use a 15-pound dumbbell. Really, the weight doesn't matter so much as the position that you're using. If you're tensing everything hard enough, the amount of weight you have doesn't matter. So what you're going to do, I'll show you, you'll realize why in just a second, is we're going to start on our left knee, so our right leg is going to be forward. And make sure that when you're in a kneeling position on your left leg, that you can pick up that front leg. You can pick up that front leg, you're going to have a proper high knee over that left leg. So next, I want you to take your yoga block. I want you to bring it to your left shoulder. Drive those elbows together to get them as narrow as possible. So you want them to be as vertical as possible. So squeeze your elbows together and push your hands together hard. If you start shaking here, awesome. This whole exercise should make you shake a little bit, maybe a lot bit, depending on the person. So as you squeeze together, drive that block high overhead. Push, 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 push. It's up nice and high. We're still squeezing that block together hard. We're going to bring it down to our right shoulder. Keep squeezing, keep squeezing, keep squeezing, keep squeezing. Now we're going to drive that block back up towards the sky. We're going to squeeze as hard as you can. If you're not shaking, you're not squeezing those hands together enough. Back down to our left shoulder. Switch knees. So about 3 to 5 seconds up, 3 to 5 seconds down, and then back. We're going to start on our right shoulder. We're going to squeeze together. Push up towards the sky, nice and smooth. Back to our left shoulder. This is pretty challenging. Squeeze together. And push up. The difficulty in this exercise depends on how hard you squeeze that block together. If it feels easy, squeeze harder. Good work. I have to shake out between each one of these. They're very challenging. Switch knees. Now we're going to start on our right knee again, or start on our left knee, start on our right side again. Drive it up towards the sky. Nice and high as you can. Long, deep breaths. Elbows together, squeeze that block. And reverse directions. 5 seconds up. 5 seconds down. Shake it out. Switch those knees. We're going to start on the left side. And drive up towards the sky. Keep squeezing, keep squeezing, keep squeezing. If you're holding a dumbbell, you can also squeeze with your fingers and push those hands together. Whew. All right, good work. Oh, we have to go back to the left side. Give it out. All right. It's a good burn in the lats, good burn in the shoulders. All right, now we're going to go back onto our sides. We're going to go back to our clamshell. All right, onto your right side, right knee into the floor. We're going to hover that left leg. We're going to drive into that right knee to get those hips up off the floor and forward into a nice plank. And set down. We're going to do 10 of those. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We're going to switch sides. Left elbow into the floor, drive that shoulder strong. Elbow into the floor really hard. Drive that knee into the floor hard. Hover that right foot. Drive the knee in to lift your hips. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Set it down. All right. Back to our Turkish get-ups. We're going to do 3 on each arm now. Last time we did this, we did it a little bit slow. I don't want you to do it fast this time, but I want you to do it in a way that feels like you're putting the movements together. So we're flowing through the exercise a little bit better. The way I teach you is to break it up into pieces and then put it together. Still okay to pause at each step, but try and put it together a little bit smoother than we did. So nice and slow, do it 3 times. We're not going to set our weight or shoe down between each get up. We're going to continuously move. So we'll start with our shoe or weight in our right hand. Right leg is bent, left leg and left arm. Oops, I'm going to switch sides. Here we go. Left leg and left arm are out to the side. Weight's going to be straight over your chest. And go ahead, drive that weight towards the sky to get onto your elbow. Left elbow. Drive the hand into the floor. Pop those hips up. Sweep the left leg back, sit, kneel, rotate, and stand. Step back, rotate that back foot, run that hand down that leg, kick, step down, onto your elbow, onto your back. And back up, press the weight towards the sky under your elbow, onto your hand, hips up high, sweep that foot back, sit onto your square, stand up, and back down. Nice and smooth and slow. Or not super slow, nice and smooth and together, sorry. Drive up high, pop those hips, get to a kneel, and stand. Lunge down, rotate and reach, kick and sit, crunch down to the floor. Good work. All right, now we're gonna do this on the other side. You're here on the left side. Continuous movement. Drive the hand, go ahead. Drive the hand towards the sky, up under your elbow. Hand, hips up, sweep the leg. Sit, kneel, lunge up to a stand. Sit back, or kneel back, lunge back. Rotate, reach, kick, hips down, onto your elbow, onto your back, and back up. Press up to your hand, hips up, sweep, sit, kneel, and lunge up, lunge back, rotate, reach, kick, sit, and crunch down to the floor. Last one. Press it up to your elbow, to your hand, hips up and reach back, sit, rotate and lunge up to a stand, lunge back, rotate and reach, kick, hips down, and to the floor. All right, good work. I'll give you guys a second to finish that up. Then we'll start our single leg deadlifts. Really, really great exercise for building coordination and putting multiple pieces of a project together. All right, so we're going to single leg deadlifts. We're going to do 5 on each leg. And as we do them, I want these to be really smooth and in control. You feel that you start to lose your balance, pause for a moment and try and regain it. Don't just stand up out of it. If you're losing your balance, you stand up out of it. It's not control. That's when we fall while rock climbing. It's those desperate moves. When we rock climb, if you want to stand that wall and you feel yourself losing balance, you pause and you bring it back to where you came from, and then you keep moving. It's amazing how much control you can gain with a little bit of patience. So, sweep that left leg back. Reaching with the left hand, stand up nice and smooth. Sit down. And sweep that right leg back. Stand up nice and smooth. And set it back down. Sweep. Drive that left foot back to the back wall behind you. And right foot. You go right foot back. Right foot back. Come back to the stand. Sweep that left leg back. Come back to the stand. Right foot back. Believe that's 3. Whoop. So I lost my balance there. Come back to where I came from. Stay down nice and slow. There we go. All right, 2 more on each leg. Sweep that left leg back. Stand. Oops. Sweep the right leg back, nice and straight with our whole body. Last one on each side. Slow it down if you start to lose your balance a little more often. Just slow it down. This exercise is great because no matter what weight you have, you can still work on your balance and your coordination. And you can make it a little heavy when your form is perfect. Okay, we're done with that one for now. We're going to do an arc press. We're going to do just like we did before. One going in each direction on our right leg, then on our left leg, then we're going to switch again and do it all over. All right, so start with our right leg down, start with the weight for our yoga block on our right side. We're going to squeeze together hard. You feel a shake as you push, 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 push up to the ceiling. Push together and squeeze. Elbows down. And drive up towards the ceiling. Keep squeezing together. You should feel a little shake. And bring it down. Switch legs. And up towards the ceiling. Drive that block up high. Bring it back down. And back up. Bring it to the right shoulder. Switch, keep the block where it is. And push. Bring it back down. Push. Bring it back down. Switch knees. Push. Bring it back down. Keep squeezing together. Push. Bring it back down. And good. Have a rest. Shake it out. Get a drink of water if you need it. Drink of coffee. One more set of great exercises for you. We're going to do a marching plank. We're going to do a little pulling in a single arm row. And we're going to do a little box squat with our chair. We're going to use that for our rows as well. Then we're going to stretch out our shoulders because we really just engaged them a lot. Okay. So first we're going to get into a marching plank. This is just like our XLS and the bear crawl, except you're going to start by lifting one limb at a time. If holding your four-limb plank is challenging enough and you can't lift any limb without raising or without falling, totally okay. Stick with that. What you can do to progress towards being able to lift a limb off the ground is you can start to unwave it a little bit. So you bend that elbow, and as you tip, try and figure out how to keep yourself stable. And I guarantee you, it's probably going to come from core. Really tense it down and really tense those legs down. So drive those hands into the floor and get a nice, strong plank. Keep those legs as straight as you can behind you, hard kneecaps. And we're going to march. Right hand, left hand, right hand, left hand, right foot, left foot, right hand, left hand, right foot, left foot, right hand, left hand, right foot, left foot. Keep switching. Make a circle. Keep moving. And if you want to, once we're here, you can raise both right hand and left leg at the same time. Switch, 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 and last one. And set down. Whew, it's been hard. All right, the single arm row. So go ahead and grab your chair, something that you can lean on with your hand, and you can grab your weight. If the weight that you have isn't quite hard enough, or if it's too hard, you can always adjust it. We're going to do a set of 7 of these. And our base form is going to be, when you press that, we're going to start by pulling on our left side, by the way. So when you press the right hand down, you step the right leg back, you bend that front knee so that it's in a stable position. You want to find a nice straight line with your whole spine. You don't want to be back like this, arch, and you don't want to be crouching over, reaching for the weight. So we're starting with the weight directly underneath our shoulder. We don't want to reach this way for the weight either. Our objective is to strengthen purely the pull. So we get to a square position with our shoulders, tighten those lats down, pull that weight up like we've got a piece of Velcro sticking our arm to our shoulder, to our side, and back to a straight arm. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And we're going to switch sides. So that left leg is going to be stepped back, right leg is going to be balancing us out on the side. We bent, straight back, reach out for it, that's tight. Keep the lats and abdomen engaged. Head in good posture, and pull. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Good work. All right. Move our weight to the side. We're going to be doing a little box squat with our chair. So, pure box squat. You can weight this if you want to. I'm not going to because there's 2 ways to progress it. In my opinion, you're going to progress this to heavier, or you can progress it to a single leg. So, as you squat down, make sure that those knees get pulled to the outside. I want you to start with your feet butt shoulder width or a little wider, wherever's comfortable to get down. And as you squat down, keep that chest up high, go until your butt barely touches, and come up. Go until your butt barely touches, and come up. Go until your butt barely touches, and come up. Again, this can be weighted. If you're weighted heavy enough so that 10 is quite challenging. But anytime you weight an exercise, you want to gradually build up in weight. Don't go up too fast. Give yourself a chance to get a few sets in it that way and see how challenging it is for you. And then bump it up the next session just a little bit. And 10. Cool. All right. Last, we're going to do a nice shoulder stretch. So there's all sorts of names for it. I call it twisted fork. What we're going to do is we're going to start out on our stomachs. And there's 2 variations. And the variations will depend on what you want to stretch. We're going to go first stretching the front of our shoulder. So our arm is going to be at a 90 degree. We're going to be laying on the floor. The arm that you're stretching can either be in this position or straight out, right? If you put it straight out, we're going to be stretching more massive, which is also good. I'm going to lay on the floor. I want you to reach out with that left hand. So reaching out with that left hand, and then you're going to sweep that left hand up so that you're basically looking at your elbow. And you're going to take that right hand. You're going to press it into the floor to your right side to help turn you. So it's going to turn you. Then you're going to take that right leg and you're going to rotate back. So the right leg is going to reach behind you, and the right arm is going to push you that direction to stretch your left shoulder. I'm going to take 10 deep breaths. Sorry, not 10. Take 5 deep breaths. Four, 5. Then we're going to switch sides. We're going to reach forward with that right arm so that we're looking at our elbow. If we look to the right, take that left hand, press it to the floor right next to you. As you press on the floor, reach back with your left foot, chair's in the way, to stretch that right arm. The right shoulder, right in front of your shoulder, should feel a quite significant stretch, but you want it to be moderate. Take 5 more deep breaths. And last deep breath in. Deep breath out, back to your stomach. All right, and we're going to do the same thing on each side, except we're going to have our arms straight out to the side. If your arm's too far down or too high, you're not going to feel it quite right. Feel free to adjust around in the stretch to make sure that you feel it where you need to. Remember the first one, we should feel a stretch right in the front of our shoulder here. This time, you should feel a stretch in kind of the going down your arm a little bit into your bicep, kind of more between your shoulder and your arm. So, left arm is stretched out. I tend to get a better stretch if my thumb is down. Take your right hand, press it into the floor, reach behind you with the left foot. And if you don't get a stretch here, what I recommend is walking that hand up a little higher. Adjust it around to see if you can get more of a stretch. Five more deep breaths. And switch sides. Right arm straight out. Press down with the left hand. Reach back with the left foot. Work that hand up higher until you can find the spot where it's stretching your bicep the best. That upper arm. Okay, now you've stretched that all out. We're on our stomachs. Let's go to our plank. This time I want you to try and do your marching plank from a forearm plank. This is going to be a little bit harder. So we're going to have our elbows flat on the floor, or our forearms flat on the floor. Toes curl up underneath. Drive those knees up off the ground, nice and hard. And raise your right arm. Raise your left arm. Those feet can be as wide as they need to be. Keep those knees hard and those abs tucked, nice and high. Raise the right arm. Raise the left arm. Raise the right arm. Raise the left arm. Right arm. Left arm. Right arm, hold it. See if you can raise the left leg. Switch to the left arm. Raise the right leg. And so you can hold that plank a little bit longer. Keep get those hips tucked. Drive those elbows back into your feet. And rest. Go to our single arm row. We're stuck on our left side. So, left foot's out to the side. Right leg reaches back as you press into the floor. Again, nice flat back, good head posture. Drive that right hand hard into the chair and pull. We're going to do 10. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Step it down. Switch sides. Oops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right. We're going to go back to our box squat. This time, if you may either wait your box squat, or you can try to go to a pistol squat. Most people should not be pistol squatting all the way to the floor. So that's why I recommend having a little box. It's also a good way to kind of get the control of how far you're going down. So chest up nice and high, core nice and engaged. Yourself a credit check to make sure. We're going to go down 5 times on each leg or 10 times if you're on 2 legs. Again, if you're on 2 legs or 1 leg, you can weight it depending on what you need. So 1 leg, down, up, barely touch, 2, 3, 4, 5, and up. So you may or may not have noticed, as you squat down, especially on 1 leg, the stability becomes an issue. Make sure that that knee is pulled towards that pinky toe and it's not caving in over the left toe or over the big toe. Sorry. All right, so onto our left leg and down, up, down, up. 3, 4, 5. Cool. Work. All right, now we're going to get in our pec stretch. Cool it down. So we're going to lay flat on the floor. Reach out with that left arm. We're going to put our right hand as if we can check, or sorry, our left hand as if we can check our elbow with our eyes, just staring at it by looking to the side. Press that right hand into the ground. Let that right foot reach back to twist your body, getting a nice stretch out of the left shoulder. I'm going to switch sides. Reach that right arm forward. Good. Look at that right elbow. Drive that left hand into the ground and reach back with your left leg. Again, feel free to creep around with that right hand just to make sure that you're getting a good stretch in the front of your shoulder. Okay, back to the left side, straight left arm. And let it creep up a little higher. Press that right hand to the floor as you reach back with your left foot. Stretching down the arm now. Switch sides. Reach up high with that right arm, or out far with your right arm. Drive the left hand to the floor, twist that left leg behind you. Whenever I hold deep specific stretches like this, I'll hold them for about 10 breaths, nice deep breaths, or around a minute. For 30 seconds to 2 minutes, great. Okay, come on out of it. All right, I hope you enjoyed what we had today. That's all I have for you. If you ever have questions, feel free to shout out with an email. Again, my name is Alex, and you can meet me here Mondays and Wednesdays. Have a great day, and hopefully we can get back to climbing soon.